everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Trisha at the Inky Planner. I am following up today on a video that Julie K did over at Plan to Create. She did a video that just so caught my attention recently, and it was she pulled together a group of her crafting supplies that she was going to take on a planner meetup, and it just was perfect timing because in the summertime, my family essentially moves to our floating cottage, if you will. We live on our boat in the summer. We treat it like a cottage, and so I do come home. Don't get me wrong, it's only a mile away. So I do get home. I can grab things here and there, but when I come home, you know, I don't always have a list of what I'm looking for or whatever. So I wanted to bring my essentials for my crafting needs throughout the summer. So I was inspired by her to sort of try to pare down my supplies and think to myself, okay, what would I really want to have with me for all of my creative outlets? So I didn't get quite as pared down as she did, and a couple of reasons. First of all, this is not just for planning. I like to just play with watercolors. I have this little smash journal, and I just throw things in there, my memories throughout the summer. So I have some other creative projects in mind besides just planning. So my supplies cover a little bit of a broader range. Plus, you know, I do have some decent storage. I'm not looking to just carry this over my shoulder for one event. This is something that I can sort of plunk into a little cubby on the boat and then pull out when, you know, once the kids are tucked in and I have an evening that I want to be creative or whatever. So I will walk you through what I have and what I consider to be my essentials. And maybe it will, you know, inspire you as to what would be key things to add to your arsenal, or just get you thinking about supplies you couldn't live without. Anyway, we'll see how it goes, but let me walk you through it. So essentially, I tried to limit myself to two things. This pink little tote bag that I have, which is just a nice, easy weight, and this thing's sort of stuffed with all of the projects themselves. And then one cosmetic organizer that I have stuffed with things, and then I have one bin, and this is just like a little snap top lid bin, just from Target, and it's just a good size. I like that it has a lid, and I like that I can kind of stick it down into a cubby and pull it out when I need it. So let me go through what's in the bag first, and then I'll walk you through the bin. So in the bag, as I mentioned, these are sort of my projects themselves. So I have my planner. And a lot of times that doesn't even go in the bag. That's with me. It's in my purse or in my, you know, tote that I'm taking with me for the day. So that really won't live in here. But I do this smash book. It's sort of my answer to scrapbooking on the run. It is super loose. I'm not even going to open it in this video. If there's interest, I'd be happy to flip through this at another time. But this is just literally like blank pages where I just shove stuff in. And I think that's the concept of the smash book. But I will throw in little business cards or napkins of places that we have eaten. Or I'll jot down a story. It's not always pretty. It's not designed. It's not fancy. It's just thrown in there, and but I do love it, and it's just a spot to just record my thoughts and doodle on the run. And anyway, I have fun with this, so I do like to have this with me. I have a coloring book, just adult coloring book, that I have enjoyed coloring in. My kids love coloring these too, and I do multiple mediums for this. I'll do watercolor, although they kind of seep through, but so what. And I will do colored pencils or gel pens or whatever. It's just a little, you know, therapy. And then I recently started using the Inkwell Press meal planner, and I've just been playing with that. So I'm just getting started with this. I am not necessarily consistent with it yet, and of course I found that the first week I planned out my meals, only half of them came true because plans change and our life is crazy. But it was at least good to think through it all. So I am keeping this with me, and this is also, they have great grocery lists in here as well. So it's a good spot to jot down groceries, things that I need to get down to the boat to restock and things. So I have that with me too. And then there's a couple pockets in here that are empty at the moment, but I think I'll throw just some like go-to pens in. But then this sucker is really chock full of goodies. So this is a cosmetic case that I found, I think at Target. And the brand of it is in this pocket. So I'll open that up. It's called Contents by Allegra is what it says. And they had some cute different patterns, but I liked all the little pockets, and I liked how it folded into itself, and I got a lot of my planner stuff in here. So I'll show you what I have. This top zipper that I just opened has my like writing pens. I have a couple different varieties. I have a slick writer, so that if I have stickers that have a shiny surface and I need to write on them, this works great for that. Or you can write in, like in my Smash journal, I can write on photos or other, any other shiny surface. I have this black Feud Pentel sign brush, if I'm saying that right. This is like flexible tip brush for lettering, and I'm just learning how to use this. Then I have precision pens, just good journaling and writing pens, and I have those in, I think I picked the 0.01 and 0.03 nibs. And then I have a white Signo Broad gel pen, which I love. So those are sort of my basics, my black and white. And I also have a scissor in here that has a little cap on it, which I love. And this is a Provo Craft scissor. So that's that top pocket. And then in here in the middle, this little pocket, which does not really close, I have a few refills for my black 0.05 friction pen. And then I have blank Avery Labels in here of various sizes. So this is sort of a fat squatty rectangle. This is like a long skinny rectangle. These are larger ones. I'm not even sure if you can see that on camera. Sort of larger ones. More of the above. So anyway, a bunch of these. I'd like to color these like completely that to match my week or my project, and then write on them to put an event in. They're all removable, so I like that about those. So that's just tucked into that pocket. And then in this pocket, all the colors of the friction pens that I got in the set of the 0.07 width. And I typically write all of my events almost always in the black, in the slim, which just lives in my planner. But these sometimes I keep on hand if I'm doing any other writing, and then I use them in the Smash journal and stuff as well. And then back here, there is a zipper pocket back here, and this pocket has all of my stickers. I don't have a huge sticker collection because I'm more of a stamper, but I have, the remains of some sets that I've purchased, and even like the blank stickers that came in the back of my very first Erin Condren that I had some left over, stickers from my Carpe Diem planner, just whatever I have is all in here. And then also in the sticker theme is just scraps of sticker paper, and then I think I took 1 or 2 whole sheets and cut them in half. And I use this a lot for labels. So I'll stamp something right on here and cut it out and then put that on my planner so that it's removable. Or I sometimes, if I'm using an ink that bleeds through quite a bit, I'll do it on the sticker paper and then put it on to my page. So the stickers fit great in that pocket. And then down in the bottom is where I have stamps and blocks. And I have quite a bit because, as I said, I'm a stamper. So this was really, really hard for me to pare down. I grabbed several blocks of different sizes. I tried to look at the largest stamps I had and the smallest stamps I have. So I have this tiny little block. I have a couple of really long ones that I think will fit on here diagonally. So this is my biggest block. I really do like them with grid lines. So I just chose a handful of those. And then for stamps, excuse me, so many of my Studio L2Es, I find it hard to like even leave behind. So I've got, the Track It set. I love these boxes. I've got all my little icons. And this, a great one from Scraptastic is those labels. These are about my longest stamps. So that was what I was thinking with that larger square block. Some of the recent Studio L2E releases that I love. I have one decorative pick. This was this floral from W+9 because I just love layering these up, and I was thinking that maybe with some of these tiny ones I could create like faux washi tape, like a floral looking washi tape in a custom color palette. So, and then more Studio L2E. And then this is an old one. Honestly, I don't even know who made it, but I like some of the sentiments on it. It's a little bit more geared towards my Smash book. And a couple of other small ones, one from Scraptastic. This one's a Studio Calico. And then this is another, oh, this is my new Scraptastic one that just came today. And then these two, I have grabbed like commonly used individual stamps, pulled them from their homes, sorry, and put them on just clear craft plastic, because there's some sets where I feel like I use like one stamp out of the set, or like these two I use out of the Studio L2E stamp set a ton. Or a couple of the other shapes. I was like, okay, these are probably my most common used little tiny icons from the Planet set. And anyway, I just grabbed what I thought would be my, if I wanted one particular stamp, but I didn't feel like I had to have the entire set with me, I grabbed these and kind of made my own little sets. So those are coming with me. So that's kind of a nice chunk of stamps, and it fits in this bottom pocket real well. And if I sort of slide them all to one side, then I can get my blocks down in here too. And then the whole thing just folds in on itself and has these little magnetic closures. So I really like this. I like how compact and contained everything is. It's about as thick as a planner itself. And it's cute. So I like that. So I'll set that off to the side. And now we go to the contents of my bin. And I will walk you through that. So in my bin, I have one of my little absorbers, and this one is dry right now, so I don't want to open it up. I gotta get it damp, and I think I'm gonna put it just in a little Ziploc baggie to keep it damp. But this is the way I clean my stamps, is using just a damp absorber towel or chamois. So I have one of those in there. I have this set of colored pencils. Comes in just beautiful colors, and I like that it's all kind of compact in this little case. I honestly don't even know who made these. I received them as a gift, and there's really no brand or anything on them, but they're really good. Let's see. They're numbered, but I have no idea of knowing the brand. If anybody recognizes these, comment below. But I like them. They're beautiful colors. They're really smooth. I like how they write. I have a whole set of the Prismacolor ones that are here in my craft room, and I'm going to leave those there. Leave those here and take these with me. So nice little compact set. I have my crocodile thing, or whatever you call this, that punches holes in my planner. I have a roll of Post-it masking tape. I opted for the narrower of my two to bring along with me in case I want to mask off sections and do some stamping. I have a little self-made, I don't have one of those washi rings or washi holders, so I just took a piece of string and strung it through and picked what I thought was like sort of a good sampling of colors and some of my favorite washis. I tried to pick varying widths and, like I said, varying colors, so that if I was going with something, teal, I at least had something, aqua or teal in the mix, or some, try to pick a representation of each color family. And then several of my washis are samples, so they're on these tiny little spools, and those work great because then they're tiny and flat, and it's just enough for maybe one project or 1 week's worth or a couple weeks. And then some of these skinnies, there's multiple on this spool, and these little teeny ones. So I put all of those on here to reach for as well. And of course my my narrow polka dots, and then separately over here my beloved wide polka dots, which find their way onto almost every one of my planner pages. So some washi and inks. I love these little tins. So I am a huge fan of these Simon Says Stamp hybrid ink cubes. This is slightly different than their full-size ink pads that are true dye inks. These inks don't tend to seep through the paper quite as much. They're a hybrid between pigment and dye, so they dry fast like a dye, but they don't seem to like soak in to the fibers quite as much, and they don't bleed through as much for me. So I have them all stored in these little Ranger tins that are, I think they were designed for the distress ink, but they work great with these cubes too. And then in the bottom of each, I have a little blending foam sort of tucked in under there, and that way when I want to use some ink blending, I have one blending tool and I can choose the foam that goes with the ink I'm going to use, add it to my paper, and then replace the foam back under the same ink so that I always have something there that matches the color. So I have my one blending tool and my inks. And then I pulled, in another video I shared my color swatches. This is a system that Jennifer McGuire designed, and you can, I'll try to link to the video below. But I pulled the color swatches from my main swatch book and put them in here with their corresponding inks, because I thought if I'm on the road and I really want to see, all right, what does that ink look like once it's stamped and dried, I have a sample here so that I can look. So these are sort of my greens and blues. And these are the same thing, but this is like my pinks and purples and oranges, and my one gray color that's in here. And then on my wish list is first of all, there's another couple of sets of these that I would love to get, but there's also the little cube of the Versafine Onyx Black pigment ink. I have the full-size pad and I love it, but I think I'm going to leave that here in my craft room and get myself the little cube, and I think it should fit right in here with these guys. So hopefully at the end of the day I might end up with one more of these tins and sort of round out my color options, and also include that black. Okay, now I have this tiny little piece of plastic packaging that has just a little lip around the edge. I use this as a palette. So when I'm doing watercoloring, I use this to blend, or to, I put my watercolor down here and then I'll add water. So I use that as like a little portable palette. And then I have this watercolor set that is Winsor & Newton set. It's this tiny little, closes upon itself here, and it has this collapsible brush inside. And I had no idea that this brush was going to be so nice. It's this beautiful, like fine-tipped round brush. It's great for lettering. It's great for getting into small detail spots. And it just goes inside of itself, or then when you flip it, you get a longer handle. And this is the brush that came with it. So I keep that right in here. But then I also have water brushes. These are the Pentel Aquash water brushes. I love how these work. I love the nibs, and I have the medium and the fine point in those water brushes as well. And I love to play with watercolor. Like I said, I am a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing, but I have this Postcard coloring book, and it's watercolor paper with images already on it, and I love florals. And so I will pull this out and just putz around and play with, you know, painting things and testing out shading. And so you can see I've got some of these done and a lot of them not done. So I just bring my book and they pop out. But so this is a great little, you know, project. Like I said, I'll pull it out and in the evening while I'm watching TV or whatever, and pull out my watercolors and have fun with that. And I think I found this on Amazon. The brand is Pepin, And I think I just found it on Amazon. I'll see if I can find it again and link to it. They have some other subject matters as well. Like I liked the floral, but they have other things as well, like booklets, but of the same paper, but different different subject. And these are me just testing my colors and stuff back here. All right, I have my Friction. This is my 05. I have varying widths of this pen. This is the one that I have the refills for. So I have that down in here. I have a couple of alcohol pads. Not sure if you guys have ever done this, but if your blocks, I've got an example here. So if your blocks get gooey, if you get adhesive or ink staining or anything gumming up your block and it gets yucky, take one of these little alcohol prep pads. These are just like, you know, in the first aid aisle at Target, this brand is, or wherever, grocery store, and run it over your block and it gets all the goo off, and it'll get ink, or if you, sometimes I use a block as a palette, especially with like alcohol markers, and that'll wipe that right up. So I keep a couple of these handy to clean my blocks. And then this is just watercolor paper. This particular one is Canson XL watercolor paper, and this one is very bright white, which I really like about it. So I've just cut them in, and they're just blank. And this is just for me to play with, you know, practice lettering or whatever I feel like doing. And then I also have on watercolor paper a bunch of images that I have stamped in my Versafine ink, so it's compatible with watercolors, but I just bring blank images again so that I can pull sheets out and just play with them. I could color these in with my colored pencils, or color them in with my watercolors and just play. So I have all these. They're varying sources, just all these images that I thought were really cute and that would be good, you know, outline images for me to color with. And that is the bottom of my bin. And everything fit in here pretty neatly. And I think I have room for one more tin of those inks before I am overflowing. So this is the system I am going with. We'll see how it works out, but I'm going to give this a try, bring this stuff down to the boat, and try to work with it for a couple of weeks. And I will maybe do, much like Julie did in her video, I will maybe try to do a plan with me video using these supplies down there so that I am, you know, really limited to exactly what I brought, and hopefully I won't have like a, oh, oops moment and like missed something crucial, but I think I'm pretty well covered. So hopefully that's interesting. I would love to see what would be in your go bag, if you will, or your essentials kit. So thank you, Julie, for this idea and for sharing what you had in your video. I will link to it, and for inspiring me to get my act together and put together a little summer travel kit for my crafts. Thanks, everybody. I always appreciate you watching. Give this a like or a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you want to see more. You can check me out on Instagram as well at Inky Planner, and everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching.